All right. Welcome everybody to the 12 p.m. R9 Tech Bits mini-series. And the mini-series, these are just short 30-minute sessions where we kind of cover and become more familiar with Google Suites and other technology resources, hopefully identify new ways for you to utilize these tools in your work in your classroom. We're going to try to set up these tools, and there's always an opportunity at the end to practice and play together. So some tech bit norms. Everyone participate if you can. You can always choose to pass, but be sure to be an active listener, open and honest with each other, and don't be afraid to take risks. This is the opportunity where we can ask those questions so we can support one another with solutions. And on each PowerPoint that I provide, and you can always find the PowerPoint presentation and my notes on the archive sessions of the agenda of Tech Bits. But make sure to check out these additional videos if you have any questions or you need to kind of backtrack. I always provide a few of some additional videos that I found interesting as I was researching the topic for today. We're going to practice and play at the end. And of course, here's my contact information if you need it ever to get in contact with me for anything. If I can't help you, then I will definitely try to find a way or a person to support you here at Region 9. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn off my camera just so I have a little bit more bandwidth and I don't see my self, with my demonstrative looks that I give often. And it's a little bit easier for me to stay focused that way. But in today's session, we are going to be going over how to converting PDFs to Google Docs. So a lot of us may already know how to do that and upload them into Google Docs. But there's a couple of ways that you can do that, as usual in technology. So I've listed these ways of converting PDF files to Google Docs easily. And Google Docs uses a software that's called OCR, which is optical character recognition software. And it is what Google Docs uses to translate your PDF information, which is a PDF is a picture, into text. Now, there's a few shortcomings when using Google Docs OCR software. It's not as needy as possibly using something like Word. So just to keep in mind, whenever you do translate more complicated documents with pictures or different fonts and icons and stuff like that, be aware that that will shift and change. It will not be perfect. This technology is not perfect. So double spaces may become single spaces, single spacing may revert to no spacing, and indentation disappearing. Also fillable fields may be removed, and images, sometimes they translate, sometimes they don't. So you really just have to kind of weed your way through when you're dealing with transferring or converting anything from PDF to a text document so you can then manipulate it. So today we're going to be talking about how to convert PDFs to a format, document that you can format to text document, okay, in Google Docs. And then we're going to talk about or try to play about a workaround for, when you do those more complicated PDF documents into Google Docs, how do I get it to have the most clean version I can possibly get? And we'll talk about that workaround. And if we get there, I also have a nice video on how you can translate things really quickly from English to Spanish or any other language using Google software as well. So just a couple of things that we can play with today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go back to my drive. And right now I'm in my TechBits drive and the folder that I have for today. And I want to take these documents on the side that I've positioned on the side already prepped on my desktop. Now, all of these, if you notice, have a root of PDF. So these are all PDFs. And I want to, and I've kind of picked three different types of choices. One is a Spanish flyer. The other one's my Google Notes, which has some images. The other one is a PO that we use at Region 9, which has kind of different formatting. So there's a couple of ways to do this. One way is to just simply click and drag the document into your Google Doc. It's going to upload. You'll see it uploading. And now I can see it in my drive. But it's still, if you notice the icon that's red and white, it's still a PDF. So what I want to do at this point, once it's in my drive, is right click. And I want to say open with a Google Doc. And what it'll do is it'll open up a new tab in Google Doc. And let's see how well it translated. So if you notice our original, this is what it should look like. Okay, oops. I opened the same document, I'm sorry. So this is usually what our POs look like. This looks familiar to everybody. And this is how it translated. Okay, now what's nice about this is if I really don't care about formatting and I'm looking to copy and paste the information, this is a quick and easy way to do that. But just recognize that it will not translate over perfectly, as you notice, because this is what it should look like, and this is what it's translating over with. But what's nice is I can completely change this text now. So I have that ability once I've converted my PDF into a doc. Does anybody have any questions so far? Did we get that? Okay. So the next thing I would like to do and kind of test out while we're all together is let's try to do a workaround. Okay. And first of all, I've got to get these out of the way. And I'm going to go ahead and open up Word. And let's see if Word has, I believe Word has a Meteor type of character recognition program. So what I want to do when I'm in Word, okay, it's going to pop this up. I'm going to go to Open. I'm going to go to On My Mac or on your PC. And I'm selecting Desktop because that's where I have my PDF saved. And I'm going to choose that M&J PO once again. Okay. And I'm going to say Open. Now at this point, Word is converting. And if you noticed, my formatting is so much cleaner. And I'm able to edit. Okay. So I am still in Word. Oops. Now in my Word, I go to File. I want to do a Save As, a Word document, M&J. See how I have Word document, DOCX. It's titled M&J. I'm saving it to my desktop. Okay. Now, in theory, and back to my drive, in theory, I'm going to go ahead and move to trash. Move these out of the way. Yeah, move to trash. In theory, now that I have a Word document saved, saved on my desktop, I'm going to now move that into my drive, and it should be a cleaner version of the purchase order. And it did it pretty well, you guys. So now it is a Google Doc. As you can see up here on my tab, it is now a Google Doc that we converted into a Word document, PDF into Word document, okay, using Word, and then saved it on our desktop and then moved it into our drive. Now, you know, this would be a valuable tool because first of all, here at Region 9, we kind of use Google Docs and that's how we share information quickly. So you can also do the same thing in Word and using Microsoft Word nowadays. So there is a way, but in our Region 9 community, we function in Google Suites. So this is why I had to do kind of like a workaround to get that cleaner formatting. But at this point, it is a document that I can edit with a cleaner formatting. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay. All righty. Now, the final thing that I would like to play with a little bit is, let's see, I have a Spanish document here. Move this to trash. And I'm going to, and in this Spanish document, I'm going to show it to you first. So it's pretty, has quite a bit of fonts and images and logos and banners in this flyer. So it's a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to see how Google translates that just straight from taking it as a PDF into Google Docs. So first of all, I move my PDF picture into Docs. As you can see, it's still in PDF format. What do we do next? Which looks good, right? But I still can't edit it. And I need to get to a point where I can edit it. So I right click, I say open with Google Docs. The suspense is killing me. Just kidding. And it's working on it. It's a little bit more. Okay. So do you see the big difference? And what happened to all of my pictures? Right? All of my pictures are gone. So this may be something we want to try to do again, utilizing Word's Meteor character program. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to X out of this. All righty. And I'm going to open my Word back up. Go to my open folders on my Mac. I'm in my desktop, and now I'm looking for that Seamless Summer Fire in Spanish. Let's convert it into Word using Word. Okay. So though it's not perfect, I feel like this is a little bit cleaner to edit because it did hang on to the different fonts, the font sizes, the spacing, and the pictures. Okay, so this is something I would use a workaround with as well. Now for the ultimate test, because I'm a Google Docs person. I'm sorry if I'm yelling. My husband just said, keep it down. Our son's asleep. I'm going to go ahead and do a save as. It's in doc format on my desktop. And close this out. And then we're going to simply click and drag into Drive again, into our folder. It's taking a little bit to populate. And here it is. So if you notice, it did translate from Word into our Drive a little bit cleaner, but I still lost the banner at the top, but I did hang on to the text formatting, the space, for most part spacing, and my pictures. So at this point, I would just be cleaning it up just a little bit. Now, at this juncture, say I wanted to convert this flyer that I received from Spanish to English, there should be a way for us to do this. Oh, here it is, translate document. Okay, I'm probably going to do the whole document, and let's pick English. Translate, let's see what it does. Now it's going to open up another tab, and voila. Now keep in mind, you want to, this is technology and it's not perfect technology. So you want to make sure that you proofread these pretty well, always when you're working with Spanish and English and any other language. So anything that we do really. But as you can see. Now, the only thing it did not, because these are, this is a picture that was pre-made, so it did not pick up the text in in the pictures that were on the flyer. So I would have to manually do that, okay, and kind of recreate that in English. But it did grab all the text and change it quickly from English to Spanish. I mean, Spanish to English, excuse me. All right. So at this point, does anyone have any questions for me? Do you feel like you can utilize what I've shown you today in your work or school in some way, shape, or form?
I think maybe I could.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, I think with Child Find, you're developing those flyers. It may not be a bad idea to do it in Spanish as well, you know, um, for our community. So just a thought. I don't know if Shani had any of those developed, but that may be something, you know, exciting to get to, and new to develop, and a different way to communicate with our family and communities. Yeah. Okay. Well, everyone, that is all I have for you today. Um, and if you don't have any questions, we're free to leave. Or if you have a question, even if it's not related to today's session, just go ahead and unmute and ask. But we're here to support you in any way we can. And if you'd like to practice and play and you feel like you want to challenge yourself or go through any of the steps that I've just shown you, or we can always share your screen. Oh, thanks, Lenny. Appreciate you coming. We can always share your screen and you can have at it and we can walk through those steps together if you want to kind of just go through the steps yourself. Sometimes I'm that way. I have to, yes, I can visually and audially learn it, but I've got to walk through those steps in order for it to plant a seed. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.